guys, I'm back in my craft room today and I'm glad to have you here with me. I have a little bunny. It's almost Easter and I have this little bunny I got from Hobby Lobby on sale. He's pretty thick. But I'm wanting to decoupage the front of him and then paint the rest of him. And then I've got few little things I want to add to him. To make him look a little bit more Eastery, but join me when we do that. So come along with me. Let's go. Okay, so what I have is, of course, the little bunny I showed you. I have some scrapbook paper, and I'm bringing it a little closer so you can see the pattern. It's a gray and light gray print that I'm just going to decoupage over the whole front side of the bunny. And then I'm going to use this purple paint. It's called Amethyst. It's 11202 in the metallic craft paint. And I thought it would look pretty Eastery in that purple color. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to paint the sides and the back side of the bunny with this. And then the front, when I get that paint dry and I'm ready to do the front, I'm going to Mod Podge it and let it dry. And then we're going to iron on our paper and trim it off. I've got a little eyeball, you know, the little eyeballs that everybody uses for animals and stuff. All right, so, and we're gonna put that on, and then I'm gonna ponder with some ribbon or flowers or something to put on the rabbit as well. And then the rabbit will just kind of sit up and be a decoration. All right, so let's get started. Okay, y'all know me. I like to use my little handy dandy throwaway brushes. So I buy them in bulk. And so when I get through with it, I just chunk it in the trash can. I got my paper bowls. I always keep a package of those in here. I'm going to shake my paint up. And let's see what it looks like in case we have to add some white to it. No, I think it's going to be perfect. It's a good, nice purple metallic color. And I think it's going to look good on the bunny. So I've got the bunny. I took the sticker off. I sanded it down. You can still see where the sticker was, but this is the back of the bunny. So we're going to cover that up. And I sanded it down, so it's pretty smooth. But we're going to paint the bunny. Oh yeah, that's turning out a nice color. Nice and Eastery. And we'll paint the back side and the sides of the bunny, and we'll be back with you. Okay, so I took the hair dryer and dried my acrylic paint a little bit on my bunny, and I think he looks fine as far as, like, if you want that wood grain showing and all. It really looks like he's been stained purple. I love to use colored stain, but I didn't have any this color. But I'm going to go ahead and put I'm not going to put another coat on his sides, but I'm going to go ahead and put another coat on this back just to make sure that coverage is a little more durable. And if you don't want an extra coat, you don't have to put an extra coat. And what you could do, and what I always forget to do and always tell y'all to do, sometimes I remember, is you can always just get your drips. You don't want drips on your rabbit. You can always put 2 or 3 or 4 coats, but put some Mod Podge on there before you paint and let it dry completely, and that'll help seal the wood. And then sometimes you won't need but 1 coat. But like I said, I'm not gonna repaint these sides, but I am gonna get these little drips. And I did end up having to take just an old regular paintbrush. I got one of mine that's just about seen its last day, so to get up into these little cracks and crevices right there because it's kind of thin and my foam brush didn't fit. Okay, so we're going to let the bunny dry a little bit, and I want it to dry good, so I'm not going to use the hairdryer to dry it. I want it to dry good because I'm going to have to flip it over and use that painted side is going to be on the table as I do my decoupaging and stuff on the other side, so I want it to be good and dry. So we're going to run to town real quick, and we'll be back. Not sure if you can see it or not, but it's got a shimmer to it. And it turned out really pretty. Now, this is the back side, okay? And so now what we're going to do is we're going to take the front side and put some Mod Podge on it. All right, so we're going to take that Mod Podge. And again, I'm using my foam brush. I've gotten too much. Let me pour a little bit back in the bottle. Don't need that much. No need wasting it. All right, and then we're just gonna brush it on. Not real thin, but not real thick either. You want a good enough coating to where after it dries and you put the paper on it, that it will activate the paper. All right, and of course we got dripping going on, but that's okay because I'm going to plan it on Mod Podge in the other side and sealing it after this side dries. So we'll let that dry, and then we'll come in and I'll show you a technique I found on YouTube actually. That works really well and prevents bubbling when on the decoupaging, because when I used to decoupage, I would have trouble with bubbling, but now that I have figured out how to do it, it works so much better. So join me when we're dry. Okay, so the Mod Podge has dried, and that's what we wanted it to do. Got the purple metallic side on the back. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to take our paper that we want to place on here. I'm going to get my bunny straight. And I'm going to place this paper on here, making sure that it's covering everything I want it to cover. Then I'm going to place this piece of parchment paper. Yep, parchment paper, just like you cook in the kitchen with, okay? And I've got my little Cricut iron, which you can use any kind, but my little Cricut iron is warming up over here. And as soon as I get the green light on it, what we're gonna do is take and go over all of this bunny, okay? And I've got my green light now. So we're just gonna take and just iron over everything, making sure we get all the edges and all the corners. And what this heat is doing is reactivating that Mod Podge underneath. And it's going to stick this paper to this bunny. And you're not going to have all your normal bubbles and stuff that you would normally have with your Mod Podge. Okay, so we're just going to go around it and make sure we have gotten all the corners. This little bunny's got all kinds of edges and stuff, so I want to just kind of go by and kind of make sure I'm getting all of it. It only needs to stick to the top, but I want to make sure I get all the edges. Here's, check it all. It appears to be stuck, so that's good, but I'm gonna go over it one more time on these little ears up here. and make sure that all the edges, we'll go around the edges again and make sure that all the edges adhered. Okay, so now what we're going to do is remove that parchment paper, and you can see that the paper is stuck to that side of the bunny. And I'm going to take, I have my little sandpaper pad, but you can use a file, a fingernail file or whatever. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to go around the edges with it. And what's going to happen is you're going to have a perfect line all the way around. And like I said, you can use a fingernail file. Look at this. It's just going to pop off of there. If you see a spot that you need to go over a little bit more, just go over it. Sometimes these little curves, you'll need to give them an extra little buff. And it's just going to break away from there. And it's going to be a neat little edge. Like I said, these little corners might give us some issues. But there you go. We'll be back when we finish. Okay, we've got it off. And if you can see, there's some little places like that right there. Once you get through, you just take your sander along that edge and you just get the rest of them off. It's not hard. Now, if you've got a lot of little cracks and crevices, like down in here, it was hard for me to get this sander down in there. I did, but it barely fit. So if you ever have anything with any smaller cracks or crevices, just get you a fingernail file with a pointy end on it and just get it down in there and get off those pieces that you need to get off. Now, I'm just gonna finish getting these small little stragglers left. And that's how you do it, just like that. Here's one on this tail here. And that's another reason you let the paint and everything dry good, because you want it to be solid on there and not able to scratch it off. So there's the bunny. You can see it's painted on the back, and the front we decoupaged this paper on. Now what I'm going to do is we're going to take and decorate it. Okay, so I've taken and just kind of placed some stuff around to see where the best place is to put it, and I think I'm going to do it like that. Let's see if I can get you a little closer in. Okay, so I kind of placed the eyeball where I think it probably needs to go. I'm going to put the flowers on there. I'm going to have to decide what I want to do with the mouth, if anything, and then I want to decide if I want to do something in the ears. But I did go ahead and put another thin layer of Mod Podge on top of the paper, just to give it a good seal. And now I think I'm going to, I've got my hot glue gun ready. Normally I wouldn't use a hot glue gun on these little eyeballs, but it's going to be inside. It's not going to be in the heat. And I just need it to stick on there. And then I'm going to stick the roses on there. If I can get this other glue stick to feed. Yeah, glue that on there. And we'll see what we're gonna do with the mouth and the ears. Okay, so I have this acrylic marker. It's a paint pen, and so I've kind of halfway made a pencil mark on here. And I'm just gonna take and paint that little mouth on there like that. Not sure about the nose, if I should do anything there. Kind of trying to use a pencil. Maybe I'll put a little dot for the nose. But these are good. I've got a black one and a white one, and then they come in other colors. But, and they're water-based, but it's really good for projects like this. And I think it turned out okay. My roses are good. My eyeball's good. I think I'm gonna leave the ears like they are. And I want to explore my nose a little bit more, so I'll be right back. I hope I don't mess him up now, but I think I'm gonna make his nose bigger. I've looked at some pictures, so I'm happier with that. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then I will pick him up and show him to y'all. Okay, so I finished my bunny. Didn't take too long. Isn't that adorable? And I just kind of painted with the acrylic paint pen, the nose and mouth. Put me a little eyeball on there, and it moves. I don't know if you can tell or not, but it moves around. And then some Paper Studio flowers that I already had. And he's just gonna sit. And look how pretty that back is. It's like it's a metallic purple, metallic amethyst. But he's just cute all the way around, and he's just gonna sit on the table. Happy little bunny rabbit. I could have done something with his ears, but I decided just to leave them. Okay, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up. These little crafts are easy to do, and y'all, ever since I've discovered this decoupage tip for decoupaging on things, I haven't had the first bubble in anything, and it's absolutely amazing, and I love it. And there might be a few little items you couldn't do that on, but for most items and all the items I've used so far, you can. And so I like it. And so I'm gonna go sit him on my table and for a cute little Easter decoration for next week. So give me a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. We'll have some more stuff coming. Love y'all. See y'all later.